So, Fessy, what are your thoughts about getting voted out this week? Yeah, that's about what I thought they'd be. Hello everyone, I'm Dan the Man. Before I get started, I want to mention, as some of you probably noticed, I was late with last week's review, and I didn't end up getting it up until Wednesday, right before the nomination episode. So if anyone missed that review, which in addition to having my thoughts on Festy's disastrous head of household reign, also has my thought on Angela's head of household win and her nominations of Haleigh and Faysal, the link is in the description, as well as the card above, and it'll be at the end of the video also. Now with that out of the way, on to my thoughts on Wednesday and Thursday's episodes. First off, as we saw to no one's surprise except for Fessy, Haleigh and Fessy went on the block. Now I will give them some credit, first of all. Most expected Fessy to go off the deep end, but he took it fairly well, at least right after the nominations. But either way, Fessy and Haleigh went up, and Fessy finally, and I do mean finally, figured out, oops, he messed up getting out an ally, and Dan and Derek were not going to be planning a ceremony to crown him the greatest Big Brother player ever for his brilliant move of taking out an ally instead of one of the 4 enemies he had available at his disposal. I'm not sure this even deserves mentioning, but I'll real quickly address my thoughts on Angela and Tyler not keeping their deal with Haleigh and Fessy. In short, why would they? Now yes, Fessy didn't know about level 6, so he didn't realize that Tyler and Angela were locked into an alliance with 2 others since week 1, but even so it was clear there was an alliance on that side of the house. So why would they abandon it to make a Final 4 deal 2 months into a 3-month game with people who have never worked with them and one of whom put them both up? Tyler twice. They wouldn't. Yes, Hay and Fessy had to try something to get numbers, but part of the reason they needed those numbers is they got rid of an actual number they already had. So with that realization of the many ways they'd screwed up, although I do think Haleigh gets too much flack for the hacker thing, Kaycee got Rockstar out, not Haleigh. But either way, they finally realized how screwed they truly were, especially Fessy, who could not live in denial anymore, and they knew they had to win the veto competition. Well, as we saw, that didn't happen. In a fun and creative veto competition that I really liked, Fessy came close, but Kaycee won by 1 point and sealed the final 2 members of the Hive's fate. Some think BB lied about that score because we didn't see Kaycee get that many points, but we didn't see anyone get as many points as it showed, save Sam and JC with their lone score of 2 points. Big Brother didn't show all of the points because if they did, we could have kept score ourselves and there would be no suspense. So with Haleigh and Fessy's fate sealed, there was nothing left to do but await their fate. Well, Fessy awaited it. Haleigh did her best to integrate since it looked like she would stay. And I don't blame her. I get why Fessy was disappointed, but as Cody and Jessica showed last season, isolating yourself for a week doesn't help you moving forward. Not sure how much there is that Haleigh can do now, but I don't fault her for trying. She clearly came to win, so she's trying what she can to somehow salvage the disastrous situation she's in. One Fessy is not completely without blame for getting her into, by the way. The votes then happened, and man oh man, Fessy's speech. I couldn't follow it all, but I think it went like this. Something, 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 Angela wears a fake engagement ring at the supermarket. Something, 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 she said Tyler's mom dressed him funny. Something, 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 she said Brett's not an actual bro. Yep. I think it was exactly like that. All kidding aside, he mentioned on the feeds he was going to try and get the target on Angela to buy Haleigh a chance, and that's what he was going for. So did it work? Well, based on what the feed showed afterwards, it did hit a nerve with Angela, although I'm not sure why, unless Angela figured if someone besides just Rockstar is calling her entitled and privileged, that she might be starting to worry that's the public's general consensus on her, which it kind of is. Personally, I could care less what kind of a car Angela drove, or if she wears a fake engagement ring to keep guys from hitting on her. Wow, humble brag much, Angela? Okay, I had to make that joke, but I actually really don't care. But as far as it bothering Angela, she and her alliance are the ones who started all this. Let's plan a speech that will tick someone off as much as humanly possible while blowing up their game because that'll be so much fun. I hope they get real mad. So if she can't take it, she can stop dishing it out over and over and over again. But either way, I don't think it hurt her game any. True or not, Fessy had no credibility with these people, especially after last week, so I don't think it really stirred anything up besides proving Angela could dish it out but not take it, but that's not a huge surprise. So was Fessy the right choice? Yes, absolutely. Some have pointed out that Haleigh is the smarter one and the better Big Brother player of the two, and I think even Fessy probably realizes that. But Fessy is much more likely to win a competition, and even as boneheaded as he is, it's highly unlikely he'd put up JC or Sam, so level 6 would almost surely take a hit then, no matter how bumbling Fessy is. Haleigh would surely put up 2 of them also, most likely Tyler and Angela, but she's less likely to win, and given her history with Sam, there's at least a chance she might put her up instead, albeit not a big one, so she was the lesser evil. JC almost surely made a mistake getting out Fessy, he just doesn't see it yet, but even if he did realize he should have kept Fessy, I don't think there was anything he could have done about it at that point. His real mistake was helping Fessy blow up his game last week. Sam, it's not a surprise, voted to keep Fessy in the house as she hates Haleigh and is friends with Faysal and likes to show off how virtuous she is by voting for the person who's going to go out, but I don't think she ever actually thought Faysal was staying. In fact, if she did, she might have voted differently, I don't know. So Fessy was gone, but as we know, he wasn't out for sure, for it was time for the jury battle back. Before I get into the battle back, I'm going to talk real quickly about Tyler's power app not being used. I was going to mention this in the last video, but I decided to wait until the veto got covered just in case something crazy actually did happen. But as we know, Tyler's power wasn't used. Now that means that Sam's power ended up not saving anyone, including Caitlin, who blew it. Bayleigh was kicked out before her power app could be used, and Tyler's power app was never used. And once again, another stupid Big Brother twist bites the dust. I tell ya, I don't get Big Brother. They try with these dumb twists, but they always blow up in their face. All this talk, everything that happened, and the apps amounted to nothing. It's really not a surprise, because given Big Brother's history, this was destined to fail. The crap apps were fun though, so that brings us to the jury battle back. As Bayleigh, Rockstar, and Scottie were all a bit more wise, I think, still not sure those 3 ever really get it, as they took on Fessy to get back in. I do want to say real quickly that a lot of people were pointing out when it was announced there'd be a jury battle back, that it was unfair to do that after showing the jury the goodbye messages, which hurt their game and exposed the vote of some of the players, most specifically Brett with Rockstar, but the others were guilty of it too, especially Angela. My response to that is, whenever they've done a jury battle back, which has been every season since season 15, except for last year, they have always shown the goodbye messages. So at this point, they should have at least been open to the possibility that there might be a battle back. And based on the feeds, they were. But at the end of the day, they're the idiots who made those messages, so if it had hurt their game, that would have been on them. Although since Scottie got back in, it probably didn't matter, but I did want to share my thoughts on that. When I saw what the competition was, I was sure Fessy had it locked in, but he blew it, I think in part because leaning over as far as he did kept him off balance, so he couldn't aim as well. Although I'm sure it would have been fun to look in that control room and watch them freaking out that Fessy was going to land on his head. Glad he didn't though. Besides, I think it's a good chance he was dropped on his head years ago. So Scottie won his way back in, and at first I thought it could be interesting. Then he gave me a coronary when he said he would try to get back with Tyler. What the actual... I mean, okay, honestly, given he was the only person in the house, or on the planet, who did not figure out Fessy was into Haleigh, maybe I shouldn't be too surprised. The guy has lousy social skills, including being able to read people, even when someone else read the book to him first. But Tyler? He was really going to go with Tyler? Some say it was a trick to fool Big Brother, and he plans to put Tyler up if he won head of household, but I'm not one of those people. Never assume an idiotic move is an act of brilliant, shrewd gameplay disguised as idiocy. It never is, and they'll break your heart every time. Although I gotta say, how did Scottie know JC was behind Fessy putting him up? Did Fessy tell him in the brief time he had to talk to him? I guess so, but that's kind of weird. The head of household did not happen until late that night after the live show ended, but I stayed up way too late on a night I had to go to work the next day to watch it. All just for you guys. Okay, I also wanted to know who won myself. So if you don't want to know who won, stop now. Really, stop now. Last chance. Tyler won the head of household, and an exciting one to be sure. I already know who he put up as I make this video, so I'm not going to go too much into who he might pick, but I think most would agree that Haleigh was in big trouble if she or Scottie didn't win. Although given what Scottie said to Julie, it might have been better if he didn't win. That brief moment with Julie leads me to believe that he very well could have done something boneheaded, and I just can't take these guys being in such a good spot and dropping the ball every damn time anymore. Either way, it's shaping up to be an interesting week for sure. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to hit that bell for notifications. I'll be back next week with my thoughts on Tyler's head of household reign, the nominations, Veto, and anything else that happens next week. It should be exciting as this cast has so far not failed to keep it interesting. I'm Dan the Man, and I'll see you next time.